Hello, welcome to Six Chain Therapy. I'm DJ Mayday.
And I'm Professor S, your psychotherapist to the stars.
I like that. I like that. I'm feeling that. And today, I don't know if you noticed what we got on the table, but we got an official Coquito bottle from moi, who has learned how to make Coquito from my mother. I've had Coquito during the holidays my whole life. I remember it as a child, my parents drinking it out of a milk gallon.
Oh, okay.
It was like,
all right.
In my grandma's house, I remember sneaking some and then like getting sick and throwing up. I mean, it's always been there. It's kind of what we do.
Traditional.
It's absolutely traditional. For my family, right after Thanksgiving, that's when the bottles come out.
So that's a holiday drink?
For sure, yeah.
For sure.
Once a year.
You know, in the Caribbean, in the Jamaican culture, there's a drink called sorrel.
Yeah, sorrel.
And
is it
sorrel
that's not a... Is it a...
Hmm?
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Clearly you want to
No,
talk over
I
me.
didn't know that was a holiday drink because I felt like I had it before.
Yeah, we could drink it anytime, but it's a holiday drink.
Oh, okay.
Usually mixed with rum and ginger. It's the hibiscus leaves that are seeped in and boiled in water and just let sit. But it's a holiday drink, like, you know,
Coquito, say it. You can say it. Coquito.
No, because I was thinking about coqui, the frog.
Well,
right? I'm just saying that was a thought.
Yeah. No, it sounds the same. It sounds the same.
It's
but
two different things. I know it's completely different.
Absolutely. But I think it's like coquito, little coco. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But
I don't know either.
I think we should try some.
Yeah, let's go.
Wait, salud. You gotta look into my eyes, baby.
Hey, look in your eyes. Okay. Hey.
Salud.
See,
happy holidays.
I have cross-eyed, so that's why I laugh. Well, happy holidays, by the way.
That's good.
Cinnamon.
Yeah.
Some cinnamon in it. Okay. A kick on it. It's like a smooth kick.
Yeah. It's rich. You don't down this. You don't take shots of this. You take a little bit. You
definitely sip it, yeah.
And you sip it. So, you know, it's been in my family. It's always kind of, everybody waits for it. People come over for Thanksgiving. They're like, yo, is it Coquito? I'm like, it's too soon. It's too soon. It's too soon. It comes out later.
Yeah, chill.
Yeah, you got to chill. So, just a little history on Coquito and the drink itself.
Talk that history. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah.
Yes. Teach.
Meanwhile,
preach.
the origin of Coquito is less clear. It is believed to have been invented sometime in the 1900s. Coquitos first appeared in writing inside two Puerto Rican cookbooks, Cocina a Gusto and the Puerto Rican Cookbook, published between 1950 and 1970.
And cocina means kitchen, right?
Yeah,
Not necessarily.
Yeah, cocina, kitchen.
Place where you cook food.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
You know, cooking with gusto.
Ah, passion.
Right, or kitchen with gusto.
Okay, got
But
don't worry about me.
But I also read that part of its inception also came from when evaporated milk and carnation milk came out.
Ah.
So it was already being made in its own form on the island, but once evaporated milk and condensed milk came to the island in the 50s, it kind of merged and became what we now know today as Coquito. So that's a little bit of the history.
Do you know where carnation milk came from?
From the United States. They invented it. They canned everything.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's how we got it, and then we just mixed it into what we were already doing, and hence there's the drink of the holidays for Puerto Ricans, and which is becoming quite popular. I see commercials about mixes that you can buy.
Okay.
And let me tell you, it was a side hustle for a long time. I mean, I had Christmases and years that...
And you sold it?
I sold tons of it. Like
hustle, brother, hustle.
Hustle for real. And there was one year I think I made like $800 profit.
Not bad.
So
were you making it in the bathtub?
So in my kitchen table, like I had tons of empty. I would collect the bottles all year round, and then just
like a witch's brew.
Yeah, had two blenders going,
and nobody could go in the bathroom.
But
so yeah,
that's what it was. So what we wanted to kick off the holidays, but we also wanted to talk about like holiday depression
Right.
and kind of how that affects the holiday, how that affects the mood. So I'm going to once again,
You wanna jump into?
I'm just going to
Sure.
frame
Okay. Frame
frame our
away. Frame
topic.
away.
Yes, and just a little fun facts if I can find it.
Here we go.
Holidays are supposed to be a time of joy and celebration, but for some people, they are anything but. Depression may occur at any time of the year, but the stress and anxiety during the months of November and December may cause even those who are usually content to experience loneliness and a lack of fulfillment. There are several reasons why you may develop depression during the holidays. Social isolation is one of the biggest predictors of depression, especially during the holidays. Grieving during the holidays.
That's a big one.
Yeah, some people may be keenly aware of the loss of a loved one during the holiday season.
Especially like a lot of times in families, there's like this one member of the family. It could be the mother, it could be the auntie, it could be the grandmother. Usually it's a woman that brings the family together around the
Right.
holidays. They cook. They're
Right.
the ones everybody's going to respond to. And a lot of times when that person is gone, passes away, that can either fragment down where people don't really go, they stop coming together, or somebody else almost takes on the mantle of that.
Right.
But
That's
that connector, my mom was one of those connectors. You know, people will come to her and have Christmas and Thanksgiving meals.
I feel like over the years, my wife and I have become that connector because
Yeah, you get a whole lot of people in your place.
yeah. So I feel like they've been coming. So we're feeling the differences as people get older and as the kids are getting older. Like things are shifting a little. There was a time where there was like 30 people in my house. You know what I mean? And now it's kind of whittled down. So trying to keep the spirit going and everything going. But there's another aspect to the seasonal holidays. I always look for like, all right, the why.
The why what? What are we
Why
whining
are
about?
people getting more depressed during the holidays?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I found during the research, I found like interesting things. There's something called the circadian rhythm.
Yes.
Which is your internal biological rhythm to sleeping and being awake, and it's all based on the light. So during the winter months, the colder months, there's actually less sunlight, and
Right.
some of us,
And it throws off.
it throws
the
off your circadian rhythm. So some of us wake up in the dark, go to work, come home in the dark,
I
and never
remember doing
really
that.
see light. And the light is the trigger that sets your biological clock in motion. During the night, your body produces melatonin, which helps you sleep, and during the day, serotonin to keep you up and energized.
Right.
So
right.
so you're actually physically, biologically being thrown off.
Right.
So it's not only just what's going on in your mind, some of the things that we just
It's like a
mentioned.
multi-level, multi-dimensional kind of experience, right? About
Right.
mood and so on. And as our channel talks about mental wellness and just wellness in general, like this is part of your wellness awareness, right? That the seasons don't only have that social effect on mood, but just the light,
Yeah, the
light
actual
and sleep
physical light.
patterns. Yeah.
There's like physical things happening too that contributing to maybe your not depression, if not depression, just being a little more down or never getting the energy that you're normally used to having. So there is a physical element to it. And there are things that you can do for that light therapy. You can do for the circadian rhythm, like light therapy. There are like,
Now you're taking some of the stuff out of my little
oh, sorry.
shindig. No,
Sorry,
go ahead because it's
I just read this. You know this, so
yeah,
it's a bit different.
But please go on and
No,
take
no,
away
no,
my thunder.
No. Go ahead. Okay.
No,
I'm
please.
not going to do that.
No, please.
It's the holidays.
No, my rhythm is off.
So go.
No, go ahead because I'll jump in because we're going to talk about this falls into seasonal affective disorder, S.A.D. or S.A.D., where all these elements that DJ Mayday is talking about, these are elements that are part of S.A.D., S.A.D., seasonal affective disorder. So the low mood, the not sleeping well, the darkness, going to bed at night, waking up in the darkness, and so on. So it's all connected. So please go on. I'll just
Well, I
talk
was
around
just
it.
going to talk about personally, like some of the things that kind of for years, like
Mm,
I enjoyed the holidays as a kid.
mm,
Obviously, I enjoyed the holidays as a teenager and in my early 20s, and I enjoyed the holidays in my early 30s. But
mm.
something happened in the mid 30s where it became a lot of responsibility, right? Like you're, well, as a man, as
Good.
a
We'll
head
talk
of
about.
household, me and my
Mm,
wife, we
mm.
were responsible for getting gifts. And this is all like a
Yeah, yeah.
stressful thing.
It
It
becomes
became,
more commercial, right?
yeah.
You got to get these gifts. You got to figure out who
Hmm.
wants what, who likes what, and
Hmm.
you don't want to let other people down because I got this for her and then I didn't get this for him, and
Right.
yeah.
So that and then I started feeling that a little differently, right?
Mm,
It was a joy to kind of make everybody happy, but then at
mm,
some point it became like, all right, this is like a job, and then
mm,
it was a bit of a burden as well.
mm. I just want to share a story too. Like I was raised in England. I came to this country when I was 15, and how I remember Christmas in England versus Christmas here, I never experienced the commercialism of Christmas and
Mhm.
Santa. I didn't that wasn't anything in my consciousness.
Really, they don't do it. They
They
didn't do
they
it.
do it. I'm sure they. It wasn't necessarily in the media. Like you would see the lights. You would see certain parts of, let's say, London or other parts of England where the lights are on, and they may have a TV show where you see the lights being turned on. But here, it was like in your face.
Hmm.
The holiday, you got the Thanksgiving for the Christmas holiday and gifts. You got this, you got that. I mean, it was just constant. So it became in my mind, it was like no longer, especially the longer that I was here, Christmas felt less and less like Christmas and more of a commercial
Racket
capitalist racket to get you all revved up
and
and
spending
then
money.
and then spending money. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. There's an element of truth for sure to that. That in the United States, it's a business, it's a racket, and I think I started feeling that a little bit more. So kind of took the fun out of the holidays,
Mm,
and that kind of happened. That was happening for a while, and
yeah.
so I'm thinking, I'm hoping for a turn, right? Like I'm hoping for a transition. But that was the thing, the one of the number one things that kind of brought me down. Because I thoroughly like being with my family, and I
Hmm.
thoroughly like
Hmm.
doing all those things.
With the
But it was
fun
like
of
it was
it.
like a burden. I had to watch
Yeah.
my money right after Christmas because I
Mm,
spent so much. So were aspects of it that were kind
mm.
of getting me down, or not necessarily down, but kind of mad, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
because it kind of takes the magic out of Christmas,
Right.
if I could use that word, magic,
Yeah.
the fun.
Yeah. Because once the kids grew up and they stopped believing in Santa and all that stuff,
Hmm.
you know, th- all right. So now I'm just a slave to making sure everybody
To
gets what they
slave to
want.
the
Like,
money and making
yeah.
sure and your budget and all that. Yeah.
Right. So you just blow up your
By the
budget.
way, this drink is actually quite making me feel a little warm.
That's the idea, my
That's the
man.
idea. It's a
That's the
slow. It's
idea.
a slow build.
It's
It's
a
really.
slow burn,
It
baby.
makes you feel nice. No,
Hmm.
but it's like it's one of it's like sorrel. They have a little bit of rum in it, and you take a few sips, and you start feeling happy.
Loose.
Loose as a
Loosey
goose.
goosey.
Feeling nice. Feeling nice. Say it twice. So, just to kind of, well, I don't know, I'm taking this in
Go,
another
go. No, no,
direction.
go.
So, like 11 million people are affected by S.A.D. and seasonal changes in general, but about 25 million are affected more specifically during the winter months. A lot of this stuff came from WebMD, but also just some other things that I've read and just through my practice. I actually had one person who went through a really hard time this winter because the winter also intersected with a new job, and
Mm.
the new job was very stressful. So he would have these moments of just feeling very anxious during the day, and it created some level of anxiety. When he spoke to his doctor, the doctor was saying that the weather, to exercise, to run this off, to like walk, things like that, to balance out his mood. Eventually, he did, but he had to get on medication to reduce the anxiety. But he's doing extraordinarily well,
Mm.
actually. And sometimes if it's really, really bad, in terms of feeling very down, having really bad trouble sleeping, having low energy, sometimes there may be a need to consider an antidepressant to kind of help with the mood. Doesn't have to be the thing to do. Like DJ Mayday, there's light therapy. And actually, in Amazon, if you look up light therapy, there's these little boxes. It's usually a blue light, and the light's at a certain frequency that's supposed to match, natural sunlight. And you sit in front of it for different varying times of, minutes. I don't know if it goes up to hours, but I know you start out with 10 minutes and then you go up to like half an hour.
Yeah,
and
half
45
hour
minutes
was the one I read.
kind of thing. It's supposed to kind of balance out your circadian
Circadian rhythm. Yeah.
So, yeah, the sun produces, when you don't have a lot of light, it reduces your serotonin, and that's what regulates your mood. So that's what I got right now.
That's
There'll
cool.
be other
That's cool.
things later.
No, well, the other things, like I always try to find an answer. Like, is there an answer for this? So, like some of the research I did was like kind of just try to figure out like what can you do to change your mood, right? Like, or change your conditions to better your mood.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
some of the things that I read, they were pretty interesting. It was like beginning a new tradition. Try planning a family outing or vacation instead of spending the holidays at home, if that's what's maybe getting you down, or just the change might trigger a different reaction.
Yeah. Changing the environment
Right.
can have a lot to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and another thing is don't give in to holiday pressures. Feel free to leave an event if you aren't comfortable. Be willing to tell others, I am not up for this right now. Like, don't be pigeonholed.
Obligated.
Yeah, don't feel that way.
Feel like a hostage to the event.
Right,
Yeah?
exactly.
Yeah.
Another thing is
And also to go with that, right? People may have a reaction to that, right? Let's say, well, I'm going to leave now. And they like, well, why don't you wait because of this? There's a lot of pressure to stay, or really like almost like for you not to take care of yourself.
Right.
Because we want to see you. We want you to be here. But I think it's important to advocate for yourself, like what you need. And if that's what you need, then to do that.
Right. And I don't think that means if you're feeling anxiety or stress because of the situation, to leave. I think it's more of like understanding who you are and what you need.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I think the anxiety aspect is a different issue that may need to be addressed in some other way. But
that's a form of self-care, right?
Yeah.
There's a form of self-care.
Boundaries, right?
And boundaries in general, yeah.
Another thing you can do is volunteer. Helping others can also be very helpful for you too. For example, you might try working at a soup kitchen, organizing a gift drive, helping your neighbor with a yard or house tasks. So I think too that there's something to that, right? Like, because when you do something for someone else, I don't know about other people or you, but for me, when I help someone else, I'm really helping myself. It's kind of a weird feeling. I don't know how to explain it, but it makes me feel good. So I don't know.
It raises your serotonin. It gives it a pleasure receptor in your brain.
Right. And
you feel good.
some purpose.
And some purpose. And also, I think it helps not take our lives for granted.
Right.
Because a lot of times we're blessed with things that other people just don't have, and we're so used to it. We don't feel that anything's out of whack, but then there are people that really struggle with their day-to-day lives. So it is a way of giving back.
For sure. And seeing another side of it, like I took my kids, I had a friend who during Thanksgiving, not this Thanksgiving, just before the pandemic, he was doing Thanksgiving meals for homeless and underprivileged people. So I took my daughters and myself, and we went to go do it. Nice. Right in the middle of Thanksgiving, like where my wife needed me the most. But I just felt like it was an important thing to do for the girls to see, for myself. Just
like another perspective.
Yeah, just to help out in any way you can, and that is like. In a way, there's a level of it that I feel bad too, because that was the only day we really did it, and it's kind of like I always meant to want to go back and do some more, but I found other ways to do things, help with charities and stuff. But that specifically, I wanted to go back and do more.
I want to share another another piece. It's not necessarily it's not related to the giving back, but it is related to gift giving and gift receiving.
Hmm.
So my son is now 32, and he is the most non-materialistic person that I've ever met
God
in my
bless him.
life.
God bless
And
him.
he's been like that since he was a child. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, and I hope I'm not putting anybody on blast because who knows who's looking at this. But my wife at the time would shower my son with gifts. I mean, tons of gifts. And each year was basically the same thing. He would find the most ridiculous thing, like a box, an empty box that the gift came in, and that's what he would play with.
That's a true thing.
So
I don't
you've
know how
got
many
all these things, and I would tell her like it's the same thing every year. He doesn't really even see these things, and if it's a toy, usually a toy that he would want, but it wouldn't be like what you think. Like the kid be
Right.
obsessing over it. It was the most simplest thing, and if he played with something, he'd play with it, and then that was it.
Right.
And he's like that till this day. It's just not a thing. He may need other things, but it's not. What do you call that? It's not concrete things.
Right.
Like quality time is big for him.
Right.
Spending time together. So yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like I'm a little bit like that. Like I'm not overwhelmed with gifts. Even though my wife,
She's the
she's
one.
blown me
the
away
one.
a few times.
Oh, what she comes up with?
Yeah, but it's
Nice,
shit that I
nice.
wouldn't even think to do for myself or
And
get
she
for
did.
myself.
So
And
she knows you. She knows who you are.
I guess so.
She knows who you are.
Yeah, I guess so. But so
Yes.
in
I didn't mean to
this,
take it in another direction.
no,
but, you know,
no, it's okay. It's fine.
I know
But
it. I know it is.
but God, you're such a jackass.
I know. It's what I do, man. It's what I do.
So in saying
Yes.
that, saying all that, there are things you can do. There are ways you can actively push back on seasonal depression, right? So there's light therapy. There's not giving into holiday pressures, volunteering. There are active things, beginning a new tradition. So there are a lot of things that you can do to kind of push back on those feelings. And I think this is kind of the what I've noticed in our shows, the themes. You have to reach out and try to find, you know,
Right.
help, whether it's doing your own research or getting therapy, but just actively being involved in your own wellness.
And when they talk about seasonal affective disorder, one of the things that they really encourage is staying social, because a lot of times there's that real strong pull to isolate, and so that's a big part. And also exercise to really get the body moving, and because sometimes there's that need to isolate, it'll be more to like cocoon yourself into yourself and not move. And I know sometimes I've had that that experience myself, and it's very difficult sometimes to go from the sofa watching TV and then going to the gym that you got to walk all this distance. But in terms of how to take care of yourself when you are feeling the seasonal blues. I mean, we call it the S.A.D, but it's like your blues.
Yeah.
It's the blues that we feel around the holidays, and there's such a thing called anniversary grief, right? So anniversary grief is when, let's say, a loved one passed away around this time of year. May not be on Thanksgiving or Christmas, but like in the fall, this person passed away, and you may not even be thinking that you're down because of you just feel down, but you don't really know what it is. And then sometimes, if you talk to someone about it, or sometimes in the work that I do, when a client is really feeling very sad, I will kind of explore. Do you recall anything around this time of year that you notice that you feel sad? And sometimes it does come up. It's a cyclical experience. So that's another thing to be aware of when you're feeling those blues around the holidays. It could be your body registers that there was a loss at this particular time. A lot of times memories are held in our body. It's not always in our brain.
And they are triggered by
yes.
like landmarks, like seasons changing. You know what I
Season
mean?
change, music.
Music.
Sometimes some of
Oh,
these
yeah.
Christmas songs pull back the veils of memories. So there's a lot of things to be aware of. So and making sure you eat properly. Sometimes during these seasons, people eat
Too much.
less. Oh, but a lot of times when you're experiencing seasonal a seasonal effect, what am I saying? Disorder, seasonal affective disorder. It's the coquito.
It's the coquito.
Coquito.
That's the point,
Hello,
baby. That's what's
nah,
up.
it's really not actually. It's just hot in our living room studio. Maybe a little bit of the drink.
It is the drink. Got you woozy.
Yeah, but what was I saying?
I don't even know.
And there's the facts.
But I just want
it's
to.
the Puerto Rican drink.
Yeah, I want to jump on something you said,
Yes.
like that, and I kind of did it, and I forced myself. So I've been trying to get back into exercising again because I fell off, fell on, fell off, and since the pandemic, it's been very inconsistent.
Yeah.
But
Same here.
I had a very like hectic weekend, and then I was like, all right, if Monday comes, I'm gonna have to try to run on Monday. I was like, no, let me do it Sunday night and get it done and do it. And I
And
did
you
it.
do
Begrudgingly to myself, I did it, and I was like, I felt so much better, and I didn't have that gap in between, exercising that
Yes.
that sucks.
So to
ass.
push through,
Yeah,
even if you feel miserable, that's a
Right.
tough one for me too.
yeah, it's like pushing
Yeah,
through.
it's pushing through, and sometimes it's really, especially when I'm in this strange like obsession with Judge Judy right now.
Judge Judy,
I watch Judge Judy. Yeah, I noticed that there's a pattern.
right?
It's like I don't know what is the pattern,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes because I work with I do a lot of mental work with clients, and it feels like a mental vacation.
Right.
But there's something about Judge Judy, and I don't know what it is. It's like how some people think of Golden Girls. They watch it, they get all happy and all this stuff. When I watch her, I get so happy because she really cuts through the bullshit of what people are saying. And there's just something.
It's entertaining.
This is very entertaining, and it has to do with people working through conflicts with one another. So it kind of gives me a like a peace and entertainment.
Yeah.
But if I'm watching Judge Judy on the sofa, I'm not going to the gym.
Well, you gotta push through, my man.
I gotta push
You gotta
through,
push
sir.
through. You gotta push through.
We're not getting any younger.
That's for sure.
Yeah, so you had more information, right?
No, that was kind of my bucket list right there.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we covered a lot of things. There is also weight gain during seasonal
damn.
defective because our hormones are getting out of place, and so it's. I think we're trying to present to you guys like a holistic view of the holidays,
Right.
of the mood, what you can do, what might help, certain creating new traditions, making sure you get enough sleep.
Yes, that's a big one.
That's a huge one,
Well,
especially with
I
the
think
waking up at night.
there's so much happening. I'm sorry.
Did you know you just spoke over me?
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Sometimes
apologize.
DJ Mayday
I
is quite
apologize.
aggressive. I'm somewhat reserved, but you ain't seen my blackity black side come out anytime soon.
I've actually have seen that.
Okay, you have. By the way, we didn't talk about our masks and our artwork behind us.
Yes.
This is a blending of cultures of we're all of Caribbean descent and African descent, and we've added some artwork to our wall back here, and
We have some Puerto Rican stuff. We have some African stuff, but which is all kind of related, right?
yes.
Puerto Rican mask is somewhat African. It follows along the line of African traditions, and then we have this big, beautiful African mask that's kind of become our kind of
Central.
Yeah, but it's like our mascot, so to speak, because
mascot.
it's been around for so long. We don't even want to do one without it. So,
right.
So it's
Actually, when you look at past episodes, it's kind of low down.
Yeah,
it's not up on the wall, but it's always with us. So it's kind of like a mascot.
Yeah.
So we wanted to add more flavor to our presence, I guess.
Yeah.
Our presence.
So let us know what you think. You know what I mean? If you want to email us at sixtraintherapy@gmail.com. And just make comments.
Like and subscribe.
Absolutely.
Tell your friends.
Tell your mama.
Tell your grandmother.
And don't drink too much coquito.
And don't drink too much. Cheers, right, bro?
Salud. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Feliz Navidad.
And happy holidays.
So, I'm DJ Mayday.
And I'm Professor S.
And this has been another episode of Six Train Therapy. Peace.
Happy holidays.